Salam alaikum beautiful people. Today we will visit the temple which was at the risk of getting submerged in the water, and then something historic happens. A spectacular international camping brings 51 nations to the rescue. Engineers cut this temple into over 1,000 blocks to dismantle, move and reassemble them piece by piece, relocating this temple 65 meters above from its original location. One of the most ambitious structural moves in the history. Welcome to the Temple of Abu Simbel, Egypt's second best known monument after the Great Pyramids of Giza. Without further ado, let's begin this amazing vlog. And today we are going to visit Abu Simbel, and there is a big story about scams happening over here for the taxis and all, and I will explain to you guys in this video how we can get the best deals. And if you're a family who's traveling, the much better option is taking a taxi, a private taxi, because buses move here at 4 a.m. so you'll have to wake up at 3:30 a.m. and it's going to mess up your whole day. So let's go and see Abu Simbel. This is our private taxi which is going to take us Abu Simbel. Cost of visiting Abu Simbel in private car is 1,500 Egyptian pound, and if you need an English speaking guide it will cost you 1,800 Egyptian pound. I will be sharing the taxi driver's number in the description below. The distance from Aswan to Abu Simbel is approximately 300 kilometers, and it takes 4 hours just to go and 4 hours to come back, so it's basically 8 hours journey. The first stop is this place. We are going to take some sandwiches and some breakfast, and then it's a continuous drive of 4 hours. Make sure to have a good breakfast in the morning and carry important snacks with you. So guys, for this long trip all the essentials are packed, juice, and this is the chips. First I thought it is Lay's, but this is I think their local brand, and this is really delicious. It's on the flavor of mutton kebab or beef kebab something, and it is amazing. This long Abu Simbel trip, boss number 1 Ghanem has slept, and Amina slept here. Amina, you're not sleeping? Yesterday I told you don't put your hand in the river. Now you're sick? You have running nose? So both of them slept. We still have 1.5 hours of drive, and this is our driver and friend Karim. And there are 3 main reasons why I chose a private taxi over the early morning bus. First, you have a proper sleep and the much needed rest. Second, by the time you reach Abu Simbel, all the early morning bus crowd has gone and you can click amazing Instagrammable photos and reels. Third is for the comfort and freedom. Finally, we reached Abu Simbel, and it was a 3.5 hours drive. Our driver was amazing. He drove really quick and showed us so many places on the way, like the farms and all. Let's explore this place. I have already hired a guide who will explain us this place in a much better way. Say hello.
Hello. Time, and this is Lake Nasser in the front of you.
Okay.
Lake Nasser is the biggest man-made lake.
Welcome to Abu Simbel. This temple was made by Ramses II because he was considering himself a god. This is the advantage which I was telling you, that when you come with a private car it's empty, and on a Sunday it's more empty. Welcome to the Temple of Ramses II. Over here you can see 4 statues, and all these 4 statues are of himself. Now you'll be asking why there are 4 statues of himself, why did he made them? So the first one is when he was young, and the one which is at the last is the one when he was old. This statue is when Ramses was young. The second was destroyed due to an earthquake. The third one he's getting older, and the fourth one is when he's old, and you can see the wrinkle marks on his face which shows that he's getting older. And below the statues you can see there are small statues under his leg, and these are all of his children's and his beloved wife Nefertari. In between of these 4 statues, on the top you can see the god of sun, the Ra god, and on top of that you can see there are 24 monkeys. Now these 24 monkeys represent 24 hours of the time, and early morning these monkeys are ready to welcome the sun. So guys, if you see these statues are humongous. They are so huge, and these statues were not made for a human level. They were made for the level of gods. That's why they are so huge and magnificent. And even the Egyptian civilization was way ahead of their time, and other civilizations such as Greeks, because whatever they did was so huge. Another important part of history is that this temple was lost, and it was discovered by the same guy who found the Petras in Jordan. So this temple was discovered back then, and it was filled with sand. And it took a long time for them to remove the sand and make this temple again what it is. But once the temple was restored again in 90s, when the dam was built around this area, you can see at the back, temple was at the direct risk of being submerged in the water. And if action wasn't taken early, the whole temple was going to submerge in the water. And then something historic happened. Many countries joined together, and this temple was moved from below to the top of this mountain and was completely restructured and moved and built again. That's why this place is so important to visit, to see how this temple has survived so many things throughout the time. And one more thing, how you're looking at this temple right now, when it was built, it was not like this. It was completely colorful. It was having white color and yellowish color all around it. But then due to many factors, all those have gone, but yet this temple had survived everything, and now it's not that colorful, but it is standing to tell its history. So now we are going to go inside the temple, where some of the most beautiful paintings are still preserved, which is showing how Ramses II won wars and his heroic power and bravery. This is the key of this gate, but the original key is kept in the Egyptian museum, which was made of gold. This is a replica.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you open it? Okay, good. Okay. Okay.
This is the inner area of the temple, and here there are 4 statues. So the first statue is the god of darkness, the second statue is of god Amun, and the third statue is Ramses II himself, and the fourth statue is the god of sun. Now there is a very amazing phenomenon that happens on October and February, when the sun comes up directly from there and rises up from there, and the light comes in and lighting these 3 pillars. But the god of shadow is still being dark, and that is how this whole temple was organized. So guys, come on, another exciting painting which I want to show you. Ramses II is there, and Ramses II is killing the enemy who are fleeing. And this painting is really exciting because over here you can see 4 legs of the horse. And this was the first time in the drawing itself where they are depicting that there is a motion going on. They want to show that the horse is running. That's why there are 4 feet over here. Another part of the motion thing is the bow. You can see there are 2 bows, so it's showing the motion of pulling the string of the bow. So this is the first example of showing a 3D motion, or showing motion graphics in the painting itself. So much to learn from here, and so advanced the people at that time were. These inscriptions are so amazing. Just have a look at them. They're engraved into the mountains, into this rock, and there are even colors. There is this green color is still preserved on this building. And it took in 1960s around $32 million to move this mountain, to move this temple from below, where it was at the risk of getting submerged in the water, to the top position.
They're offering karak to the god.
Guys, here you can see the most iconic flower for the Egyptians and the pharaohs of that time was lotus. So when you see this triangle type of shape, this is a lotus flower. painting which shows the power and valor of Ramses II. So here Ramses II is killing two enemies on himself, and this shows his power and valor. And he was a really strong person, as they say. Is a very important wall because this wall is having entire depiction of the war, of the famous war which took place between Ramses II and the Syrian king. So here you can see all the chariot which was used in the war, all the hieroglyphics writing, the type of weapons which they had. Here you can see the type of shields they used. They had the circular shields and the tall shields. We just completed Abu Simbel temple, and this temple was for Ramses II. He built it for himself as being a god. Now we are going to another temple right next to it, and this temple Ramses built for his beloved wife Nefertari. So now let's go and look at her temple. Ramses built this temple for his wife, and the first thing which you'll notice is there are 6 statues. The 6 statues are Ramses, his wife, Ramses. Then again Ramses, his wife, and Ramses. So that's the structure of the... He was so self-obsessed narcissist that he wanted himself in everywhere. So even though this temple is for his wife, he's coming twice on both the sides. Let's go and see. Welcome to the temple of Ramses II's wife, Nefertari. Now if you can see how her face is engraved on the wall, she's having 2 ears. Now these 2 ears are the ears of cows, and it also represents as mother goddess. So Ramses was considering himself as the god, the wife was mother goddess, and his son as the sun god. So in this photo, in this painting, you can see Nefertari is being represented as the god by the 2 goddesses. And these 2 goddesses are twins, and they can be differentiated by their names written on the top. Ramses is being crowned by the god of evil on the left and the god of good Horus on the right. And they are crowning him in this image. Ramses II himself killing the enemies, showing his bravery and his strength and power everywhere. In my last video, if you would have seen of the National Museum of Egypt civilization, you would have seen the dead body of Ramses II, the mummy of Ramses II was over there. And today we came here to Abu Simbel, the temple of Ramses II. So there is a big debate going on whether this Ramses II is the same Ramses or the Pharaoh at the time of Musa alayhi salam or Prophet Moses. So still there is a debate going on, and no one can actually say was it he or was it not. But now when I personally visited this temple, I can see that he had made so many claims that he is the god. And even as I showed you, in their tradition there are the god, there is father, son and mother. These 3 criteria are being fulfilled, and he had built this temple of himself claiming to be the god. So most probably this might be the same Pharaoh, but as for sure even I cannot say that, but I feel maybe that's why. And even when we saw his body was preserved so well, like he aged on the time. His hair, if you see the details, white fine details, his teeth, nose, overall structure was looking as if he is preserved perfectly and nothing happened to him. And rest Allah knows better.
So the king chose Nubian to build the temples because Nubian was rich in gold. The sand had gold, and he wanted to take control of all the gold. And I think my kids took that thing very seriously and digging for gold. Okay, so what do you think? Was it worth coming here after 3 hours drive?
Yeah, it was totally worth, because if you had seen the history, you had seen the mummy of Ramses II and know what type of a leader and king he was. So this temple is must because of the things it has to offer and how wonderful it is.
Second, he was the son of City first from 19 dynasty New Kingdom. He was a very, very strong man, and he was married about 68 times. 68 mother-in-law. He must be lucky. He must be strong. He had 100.
One more thing, never come in summer. Now we are at the peak winter time and Aswan is still so hot because Aswan is connected to the Sudan border. So trust me, never come in summer over here, otherwise you'll be roasted, dehydrated, skin burns and God knows what all. If you're taking a cruise option for 4 days or 7 days, the cruise will bring you to Abu Simbel as well. As you can see the cruise over there, it has docked over there, and then the tourist can come and visit Abu Simbel temple. Where is ice cream? Can you explain? No, stand here, explain me from here. Where?
There, go and go there.
Then what you will get?
Ice cream!
Oh, you leave from Abu Simbel temple, you have this market. So guys, we are done with Abu Simbel temple. It was a fantastic day. The journey was good. I would always suggest you guys to take a private car. If you're doing it solo, fine, you can go with bus. But if you're more than 3 people, private car is much cheaper. So guys, there are 2 timing for buses. One is in the morning 4 o'clock and another is at 11 o'clock. But make sure when you're coming by private car, you leave maximum by 8:30, 9 or even 8 is fine. So when you come, you get the whole place empty. Very few people will be there. So that's a much better timing. So we got very good shots and very few people were there. Let's have some sugarcane juice. So guys, today we went Abu Simbel with Mr. Karim. We had an amazing day, and if you're visiting to Aswan, make sure you go with Mr. Karim. He will take you in the best price and take you safely and get you back.
Thank you, brother.
Guys, if you have watched the video till here, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe my channel, because it gives me so much more motivation to create such videos and share such information.